Hi. Hi, this is Erica with the Poindexter Real Estate Group. I am excited to bring you episode 2 of What Can I Buy In? And today we are going to go to Tucson, Arizona. And my agent partner in Tucson, Steve Dooley, is going to be showing us some properties. If you guys could share the stream, that would help me out tremendously. My goal in these interviews is to show what you can buy if you leave California. And I know that there's a lot of people who want to leave for income reasons or retirement, lots of different reasons why you want to leave California. And our inventory is so low here and low kind of everywhere. But there's a lot of opportunity in other places, and I want to be that resource for you. So I want to introduce you guys to Steve Dooley. Steve Dooley is, like I said, my agent partner in Tucson, and he's here to tell us all about Tucson. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Steve, and then we'll show some properties.
Hey, Erica. Thanks for having me on the show here. My name's Steve Dooley. I'm a native Tucsonan, so I was actually born and raised here in town. Grew up, went to high school, attended the U of A, and I'm a recently retired 23-year fire captain here in town as well. Just retired in March. So I've been all over the city throughout my years, and I am very knowledgeable about all things Tucson. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Everything in Tucson. So tell me your 2 favorite things about living in Tucson.
The 2 favorite things, obviously, number 1 is probably going to be the weather. The weather here is great. It's hot in the summer. Nobody's gonna lie there. But we have AC and pools for that, as opposed to somewhere back east or something where you got snow and there's no shoveling or anything like that here. So I mean, compared to California, it's kind of comparative that way. The other thing I really enjoy about living in Tucson is that it's a small town and a big town at the same time, if that makes sense. It's a little bit over 1 million people population, but we don't have like rush hour traffic, 2-hour lines. I mean, you can get pretty much anywhere in Tucson in about 30 minutes. If you drew a line from clear up on the northwest side to the far east side throughout the whole city, driving through traffic, it'd take you about 1 hour to get across the whole city. So I do like that. It's kind of a college town feel, but it is bigger and it has a lot of amenities.
It's kind of Sacramento. I mean, Sacramento is a big city, but it's not San Francisco big city.
Right. Okay.
A lot of our, lots of people love in town Sacramento. I work the foothills. On the other side, Placer County goes to almost Tahoe. It goes to Tahoe, but I don't work all the way to Tahoe. It's like an hour and a half away. So, but I think we have this city and then suburb and then really sprawling, properties kind of thing, really rural, from a rural area to downtown Sacramento could be only 30, 45 minutes. So it's lots of different kinds of things. And it's not really super tight and congested like that. So similar.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities there, and we do have exactly that. You have the urban center, and then you have the foothills, and then there is rural. Like if you like horse property and things like that on acreage, it's about the same distance. Likewise, we also have, if you want to do stuff outdoors, Mount Lemmon is one of the mountains just in the Tucson Catalina mountain range, and it's about a 45-minute drive from the center of town. And it's pine trees up there. So right now when it's 110, you can go up there and it's 85. And
that's where I want to live.
60s at night. Yeah. And it's only less than an hour drive. If you want to go a little bit further, there's Pine Top and stuff, which is about a 4-hour drive from Tucson. So you can get out of the heat. A lot of people do that. They get places up there for the summer and things like that.
And do those kind of places actually get snow? Or they just stay kind of mid-temperature, huh?
Yeah, actually, Mount Lemmon is the southernmost ski resort in the entire country. So there's actually a ski resort up there, and it opens. Not long; it's 2 months, but It gets snow up there in the winter all the time. Yeah.
Hey, that sounds like my spot because I like I think I want to live somewhere that's like 80 pretty much all the time.
Right.
But not Hawaii because it's too humid.
Yeah. It's no Tahoe ski resort. No, I'm not going to say that. I mean,
well, and I don't really like I go to Tahoe in the summer. I like Tahoe in the summer. I'm not a winter Tahoe person. It's just too, I don't know, snow's wet. It's not fun to me. All right, so tell the truth. How hot does it really get? Like, what's the worst case scenario?
Oh, it gets hot. I mean, it's pretty common. Let's say this summer, it's pretty common to be 105 to 110 in the summer. But if you're looking at Tucson versus Phoenix, Phoenix is always at least 10 degrees hotter than Tucson. So when we're up at like 108, they're at like 117, 118. And they have a lot more concrete there. So, I mean, I had a business up there that I ran out of there a couple of years ago. And it just, when I drove back from Phoenix back to Tucson to come home at the end of the day, you could literally just feel the relief. So we're also a couple thousand feet elevation above Phoenix, which is probably why it's not as hot.
I mean, Sacramento can be 105, 108, like consistently for a few weeks in the summer. It's just that 118, 120 that I hear about in Phoenix that I just feel like that 10-degree difference has got to be brutal because it's hot. I mean, it's hot here.
Yeah, you feel it. It's definitely a noticeable difference. But if you guys are used to 105, then Tucson's not going to be much different than that.
Tucson's not horrible. All right, well then let's look at properties. Let's check it out.
Very cool.
Get it up on my screen and make this a little bit bigger. I think we can see it good enough. So this property is in town Tucson, you were saying. So this is near the college?
Yeah, so this is a centrally located property. It's within maybe 5-10 minutes of the U of A and also downtown. So this home is very appealing to people that like the nightlife. So if you want to do stuff, you want to go downtown, you want to go bar hopping, entertainment, things like that. The location of this house is really prime for all that. Likewise, if you want to be near the U of A, go to the football games and things like that, it's also good for that as well. Now, the price point on this is $499. And the reason for that is due to that location. It's very centrally located in a great neighborhood.
And do people okay, this is going to sound silly because I'm not a football person. So U of A, people go to the games.
Oh, yeah. Well, not right now. They just got cleared to open up with the COVID, but yes, traditionally.
I mean, I just, I don't know. That my husband's gonna kill me when he sees this, but I don't know. That's not my priority. And is this a fireplace like to hang out outside, or is that
that's a big thing in Tucson because it is so nice in the winter. It's super nice. I mean, it's like 50, 60 degrees in the winter, and then in the evening it's a little bit lower. Once the sun drops, it cools off a lot. We get about probably 30, 40 degree drop. But a lot of people like to have those outdoor barbecues or fireplaces so you can come out and hang out, do whatever you want, cook, have a drink, and just chill out by the fire. It's a pretty nice thing to do when it's cool out.
So Californians like grass.
Yeah,
what do you guys normally do for landscaping? Is this pretty standard or?
So no, that one's a little atypical. Most of the landscaping, which we'll probably see in the other couple, is desert landscaping most of the time. You can do grass here. It just makes your water bill super high, probably like $300-400 a month. I mean, people do have grass, but it's not common. I wouldn't say.
Not common.
Yeah, mostly it's decorative rock and mesquite trees, decorative stuff like that. Which is cool because they're very low maintenance.
A lot of our front yards are being more into. I mean, we're technically a desert climate, but we're so used to our grass and stuff. that, you know, people are converting it more to like natural landscaping and not so much just straight up grass in the front yard, which is actually kind of nice to look at. Like it's better than the same thing over and over. People are actually doing some stuff. I'm going to go to the front picture of this house.
To the front, yeah.
Oh,
this is the second one.
This is the foothills you were saying, and this looks like my spot. This I want.
Yeah, this is a very sought after place. It's central as far as east and west goes in the town, but it's north central. So they call it the Catalina Foothills area. It is elevated, you know, above the city. So pretty much anywhere up in that area, you're going to have a stellar view of the city lights and overlook the city, kind of like that.
This right here.
Yep, you'll have that skyline, and the night you'll see all the lights and stuff. It's really pretty. But yeah, that's a highly sought after area, and you can see that one's only $549. So the reason that other one was $500 was because it was central, right? But this one you're going to get a lot more house, pretty much, you know, reasonable amount of money. It's kind of the same. It's also one of the, if you see that pic there, that's a pretty common construction theme out here. It's you know, red brick, or we do the adobe. They have a lot of adobe or slump block construction. So there's that, and then there's Santa Fe, and then there's also your traditional, you know, subdivisions as well.
So this one, we'll flip back real quick. You said this one was like the adobe style.
Yeah, that's the adobe block. Yep, the burnt adobe, and then that second one was like a red brick, which is pretty common also.
And something like this, like say somebody from California moved here, we wouldn't even know how to like if there's care instructions. I don't know how to say that, but
there really isn't. I mean, that stuff's those houses, those adobe ones especially, are like usually from the 50s and 60s, and it's very durable. And
you just paint it. You can just paint it if you want to paint it.
No, that's the actual color of the block itself.
What?
Yeah, you don't need to paint it. You need to paint the trim and stuff, you know, the fascia board on the roof. But as far as the walls, yeah, there's like no wood siding or any of that to paint.
Oh, that's cool. And then what about like insulation and stuff with that kind of, there's no real, that is insulating it, right? The brick itself.
It is, but then a lot of the properties, not all, some of them have the exposed block on the interior wall, but a lot of them, they fur out with drywall. And then they put the rolled insulation in the wall, so you get like a double insulation basically, which is really
this one it's drywall on the inside. Yep. But then there's some you can live in that have the adobe on the inside. That might be kind of neat.
It looks good, but honestly, it's a heat sink. I had my first house had that wall on the west face, and you could literally feel the heat coming through the wall. So yeah, you definitely, if you come out here and you look at one of those, you definitely want it to be drywalled on the interior.
So we're back to my little dream oasis property that I love.
I like that one.
And so is this typical like interior finishes, what you would find for this price range?
Yeah, it's pretty standard. And honestly, there's a lot of different interiors out there. So a lot of the homes, they're a little bit older, you know, 60s, 70s, in that range. And a lot of people have just remodeled them over the years. So you'll find them that are just like really modern, if that's your style, like really modern and decked out with like granite countertops and everything contemporary on the interior. But then you go on the outside and you'll have that red brick. So it kind of varies a lot, honestly.
I would like that, where it's like classic 50s, 60s like look on the outside and then totally tricked out on the inside.
Yeah, that's kind of how this one is. It looks like they did some stuff. Like they did the counters. And they do have if you see the tile, that looks not as updated, you know. But
they just haven't gotten to the floors yet. And this looks like a weird, layout-wise, I don't know if the dining room table goes there or if that's just a cool bar. That's like their coffee bar. That's neat.
Yeah, it's like a breakfast bar or something. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the table. The breakfast bar is probably way over there. Cool. So this one's got like 2 living spaces. It's 2,634 square feet.
Yeah, it's good size.
That here would cost probably, I would say, in the finishes this is maybe 7-ish, depending on where it was at.
Even with the pool, does that bump it at all?
The pool is kind of neutral here.
Okay.
So people either want a pool or don't want a pool, and it's not going to attract. I mean, it's going to attract the pool people, but it also detract the not pool people. So it kind of puts you at a net zero on the pool. However, like I was explaining before we got on, with COVID and everybody home being bored, we're seeing a significant increase in pools being built. So I'm interested to see how that pans out on resale in a few years, if those are going to be harder to sell or easier to sell, depending on what the tone of the market is. So we'll see. And there's, we have like a lot of mixed cultures here, and some don't want pools at all. Like it's, not their thing. So it just depends on what people want. And like I said, we get hot. So yes, but then the maintenance and the upkeep and the safety and all that, it depends who you are, if that's interesting to you or not.
Yeah, I find out here that, it's probably about at least at a minimum 30 to 40,000 to put in a pool here. So historically, usually you're not going to get an ROI on that if you're looking to move out. So if you're going to live there forever, then, it might be a good deal. So a lot of people here are wanting the pool's already there. So they're not having that additional cost after they move in. But it's the same with you guys. It's hit and miss. It depends on the client, right? What their needs are and, what they want.
But I could sit on this patio. Look at that view from this deck. Like, I just want to sit right here. It needs a spa, like elevated up so you can.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting. Like, I don't know. Outdoor dining is huge here. So, like you, the days that are amazing are amazing. So, I love this for that. Like, that's super cool that you guys have those two. This is
and that property is on, I think that's on about an acre. So there's a lot of houses like in that area that you'll get an acre. So you're not, stacked right on top of people either, which is kind of nice. You have your space.
I love that. I love this house. I want to move to it. Okay. So the next one that we were going to talk about is something that basically we like median home price to median home price. So the median home price in Placer County is above $500,000 at this point because we've had record increases during this time. And I think you guys have seen similar increases too,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, with inventory so low and rates so low, it's just driving prices. But I wanted people to be able to see, like, okay, say you don't want to you don't want to spend $500,000 on a house. That's why you're leaving. What could you buy instead? And so this is where we go to this cute one.
Yeah, this is so this one's a standard, like I kind of just threw this one in there because if you like the family neighborhoods where you have, all your neighbors, you're close knit, you do the block parties, the trick or treating, you're near the schools. There's a lot of neighborhoods like that as well. So I showed you the first two. They were on acreage and things like that. But if you want to be close and social with people, there's tons of neighborhoods like that in good parts as well. So this is one of those, and this one's was a 250 price point.
Yeah, 250.
Your track home.
Yeah, this probably in Roseville would be in the high fours, and maybe over that. It would probably be listed in the high fours and then have multiple offers and end up over 500.
Right.
I would bet. So this is like, the tile is like Southwest style. Do you find that people decorate, like use a lot of that Southwest stuff, or do they tend to go more modern?
On these houses, they're usually newer, so they're a little bit more, on the modern side. That one, there is houses with Saltillo. It's called Saltillo Tile. I don't believe that's the Saltillo Tile in that one, but it is that motif and color. It looks like Saltillo Tile. Saltillo Tile is kind of like bumpy and rough. It's not real flat. So, I mean, some people are into that, if they really like that Southwest look, then they really like it. Either you love Saltillo Tile or hate it. I personally I'm not a fan because, like I said, it's uneven when you're walking on it, and then if you're cleaning and things, dirt gets on it and things like that. But it looks very, Southwest.
It has that whole I moved to the Southwest look, right? Yeah,
exactly.
This is super pretty. Look at all the bedrooms. I'm just gonna skip past the bedroom. I want to get more to the. So this same thing. Somebody's got to get back here and put us some landscaping in.
Yeah, so that's the decorative rock that we were talking about earlier. That's pretty standard. They'll put some plants in there, and then people usually will add it on their own after it's built. Whatever they want to do.
But yeah, the rock stays, and then maybe like some plants on this side of the sidewalk, and
right.
That's a fire pit, so they probably hung out back here before they moved out. Or their realtor told them they had to take all the chairs away.
Yeah, usually they clean up the yards before they list.
I mean, it's cute. We can go to the front. The front had that kind of landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
So the front was very much in it's landscaped, right? But there's not the grass.
There's no grass. That right there is standard.
Yeah, it looks good though. And like I said, we're so used to our grass, but I think people pay. I mean, the water gets expensive. It's not as expensive as you said, but it gets expensive to keep that green in the summer. In the summer, it's just as hot. So a lot of people with water issues that we've had in California over the last 3 years, 5 years, they'll kind of just let the lawn die in the summer and then it comes back later in the fall. But just depends what they got. So,
yep.
All right, let me take this off the screen share. There we go.
So,
what would be if we were talking about people moving from California because they're keeping their jobs, and you've seen that as well, where we're tech companies especially, and it's a lot of different companies that are no longer going to keep their commercial leases and allow people to work from home. And with that, they're taking their money and their salary and moving to other areas. And you've seen that happening a lot in Tucson from California.
Absolutely.
What kind of properties are people really gravitating to when they're moving?
Well, the last couple I was working with, last 2 clients I was working with, they seem to be more into that, the house like number 3, like a nice tract home kind of thing versus the more custom, like the number 2 or the number 1. They also seem to like to gravitate towards the suburbs. So like that third one was on the northwest side. There's a northwest side, Oro Valley area, suburb, Marana. That's all. I call it all northwest because it's the northwest part of town. And then there's also the far east side as well, which is equally as nice. It's just on the other end of the whole world. And so either one of those school districts are really good on both ends of town as well. So on the east side, there's a suburb called Vale, and it's got the number 1 rated school district in the whole town. So it's highly sought after by families to live there. Also super nice over there as well.
Yeah, we have most of my suburbs that I work in have highly rated schools, and it's one of them in particular is the price is driven up so high because of the schools, and then you can cross the street and get to a different school district, and the prices are $50,000-$100,000 less because of the school district's different. And it's not any worse. It's just that other particular school district is just highly sought after, and they don't take transfers a lot because it's so full. Because most of our schools are super full and there's not a lot of room to move around. But I would look at that third house and put it in that school district, and it's a lot more.
Oh yeah, for the same house, right? Yeah, exactly.
It's probably that school district, 1,800 square feet. I don't know, $550.
Yeah, and that was a 4.2 also, that one that I showed you. So I mean, you can get those for $2 to $250 is a good price range for if you're looking for just like a like a 3-2, you know, something basic around 1,500 square feet. You know.
Cool. Well, if anybody out there is watching and wants to move to Tucson, please shoot me a message. I will connect you with Steve, and Steve will make sure that you get what you're looking for and all the information that you need. If you just have questions about what it's like to live in Tucson, I can connect you with him as well. And thank you so much, Steve, for hanging out with me this morning. I really appreciate your time. And maybe one day I'll get myself out of here and come visit and check it out myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Erica. And hopefully we added some value to everybody today and they maybe learned something or maybe had some more questions. But either way, we're both here to help you out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if you do have questions or there's something else you'd like to know, reach out. We're happy to help. And I look forward to seeing everybody next Tuesday at 9 a.m. And I think we're going to Reno. I think that's who I've got scheduled for next week. So thanks so much, Steve. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.